Oh, using a baby as a bomb, bro. What the fuck? Alright, let's just get on with the chapter because I have a lot to talk about and I'm already a bit late to posting this thanks to the time I spent making that very interesting thumbnail. You're welcome. Now, the first, like, 3 or so pages are a very Togashi Hunter x Hunter style text drop, exposition drop, text drop, where there's lots of words on the page, and it's kind of things we already know, but just coming from characters like Izuru, who we know is kind of anti-Enchanted Blade, and we can see him here pushing very firmly against going with the Enchanted Blade plan. This whole thing is basically a meeting held at 3 AM for some reason about why and how they're going to follow through with the Enchanted Blade plan. Is it viable? All that stuff. They talk about how Datanseki, you know, only Kunishige supposedly will be able to harness it, so he claims, and they decide in the end that they don't want to put any stock in that plan at the moment, really, which makes sense because as the current timeline goes, they're not really meant to have Enchanted Blades yet, so they basically decide, no, we're not going to listen to this kid, we're going to invest in option number 1, plan A, plan, whatever. So instead, they decide that they're going to put their stocks in a plan that will supposedly increase their chances of victory dramatically. We get Flamebone and the Kagari clan law drops, alright? And it's we get very Naruto again here. So we see Hiyuki's dad, we see Hiyuki's mum, and we see what I assume to be a sibling of Hiyuki. And we also see a pine tree because they won't leave me alone. I swear these trees are plaguing my dreams at this point. But Flamebone of the Starving, their mystical weapon proposed to counter the Mikaboshi, belongs to the Kagari clan of fire sorcerers. And then we see this really cool visual of like a ribcage in the dark. Due to its immense power, very few are able to wield Flamebone, blah blah blah. Hiyuki's mum is pregnant. Yeah, she also managed to, well, I say she, Hiyuki as a baby managed to burn her mother's stomach, which normally the Kagari clan are immune to flames, but whatever Hiyuki be doing in there is a different level because she's getting all burned and stuff. And supposedly this child, who they've decided to call Hiyuki, will be the first Flamebone wielder in 400 years. Satoru Gojo 6 Eyes Limitless type shit. But at the same time, we see that there's this kind of seal on her belly, which is giving me big, like, because it's not normal sorcery, is it? Right? Because like if it was, then it probably wouldn't work against Sumika. And then also just the way it's been spoken about, it's like it's no ordinary sorcery. So yeah, I think it is some Jinchuriki kind of situation where they're sealing like Kurama or the Kagurabachi equivalent of like an actual spirit inside of this child, and Hiyuki will be able to wield it at supposedly full capacity, at least half capacity from what we know in the main series. That's a bit mad that throughout this chapter it's kind of shown that Hiyuki, or at least Flamebone, is something that they think could give them a very good chance of winning against 6 people on Aryu's level. Remember, it's not just Aryu. There's 6 of them, right, including Aryu, and they know that on that level, right? One of them, just Aryu, took out the strongest squad of sorcerers they had ever assembled, of Shiba, Mashiro, Hiruto, and Yoshinojo, and he low-diffed them. Now they've looked and they've gone, right, there's 6 people like that our strongest squad in history have not been able to put a scratch on. Flamebone will give us a good shot. Hiyuki's built like that. Listen, I've been saying it for so long, bro. I don't know why people were doubting, but Hiyuki is built like that. She is. And she's immune to flames. Sorry guys, but she cooks Samura. Let's be so for real. She slams Samura. She deletes Samura. She it's gonna make people mad. Hay fever is... oh! Anyway, we get a little Chiaki flashback. In the flashback, we learn that back when the previous prophecy woman, that's someone's going to call me misogynistic for coming up with a term like that, but whatever, the prophecy woman who kind of looks like a Zula. We see that Chiaki used to be kind of like not a servant, but like a, you know, general house worker. And then obviously this woman who she kind of worked for, who had the prophecy ability, died. And Chiaki later inherited the ability, which sent her mum into shambles because duh. But the saddest part of this chapter, oh my god, it's so sad, is just that day that she found out it was her to be the next prophecy wielder was the last time that she touched Kunishige because she passed out on the floor. Kunishige picked her up, brought her all the way home, and then her mum just decided to scold him and sent him away and said, you can't ever see this guy again. We get this really nice little kind of flashback moment where we see Kid Azami, Yano Azami, Kid Shiba, Kid Kunoshige, and Kid Chiaki just messing about. Dumb kids, having a fun time. And then when she gained this prophecy ability, she was stripped of her identity. She was stripped of the ability to be a person. It was now her job to be this moderator. She's kind of just like overseeing the entire sorcery societal structure in Japan, right? She is kind of what holds everything together, and it's her responsibility to make sure that she passes fair judgment, she doesn't seem biased, she doesn't get like a personal life, right? She is a tool, literally. She lacks all autonomy, which is a big part of her character, and I really like that they emphasize that in this chapter when we see just how much she cherishes those letters that she gets from Kunoshige, because she feels like those are the kind of only parts of her old life that she can hang on to. But then obviously when that snake ratted her out, she just decides to keep doing the letters. What, they're going to kill her over that? Man. I don't know, Chiaki, just you do you, innit? And Mumsy is definitely not helping, all right? Mumsy is giving Maki's mum all over again. It's just, nah. But yeah, so basically Chiaki's mum is drilling into her. You cannot, you just know. You're not allowed, don't speak to this boy. Don't speak to anybody. You're not allowed alive. Fuck you, kid, right? Everything hangs in the balance, right? You have to maintain order and maintain the unwritten rules, which is no sorcerer clan can, you know, cause any general public disturbance. They have to be discreet about their actions, and then anyone who violates that, you know, Chiaki will get a prophecy and will out them. So she needs to be very unbiased. She needs to be very fair, and she is the judge basically for all of sorcery society. And Chiaki, of course, kind of understands this. She understands the responsibility, but that's when we see Chiaki has a vision of the very same panel we see in Yura's flashback in 102, where we see the broken down, destroyed house. Oh, it's tying in good, bro. I know Chiaki's still alive. Chiaki surely is the fortune teller who is telling Yura all of these things. I reckon she's like full pro-malediction, bro. I reckon Chiaki went off the rails after this, and I strongly suspect she's still alive and working with Yura. Yeah, it's kind of like she's realizing, oh, I'm seeing visions of things that I really don't want to happen, and I feel like we're going to end up in a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of situation, because she agrees to willingly hand herself over to the Mikoboshi because she feels that is her responsibility, and she feels that's what will best protect Kunoshige. However, I think that's very unlikely to happen because the war does start, right? And it wouldn't start around this time if they did hand Chiaki over. So I think she's going to agree to go for her own reasons. And I think what's about to happen, given that Hiruto and Yoshinojo are dead, and I think Akamura, being the brother of Chiaki, is going to know that they plan to hand Chiaki over. I think Akamura is probably going to go to Kunoshige. And obviously we know that at some point in time, Akamura became Kunoshige's most trusted ally. So at this point in time, Akamura is already a very, very proficient swordsman of Royal Guard status. He's just not old enough to actually officially join. If Kunoshige, Akamura Soga, Shiba, and Azami pull up at the Soga clan estate gates with no Hiruto or Yoshinojo to defend it, bear in mind that Shiba is still part of the squad deemed the strongest. Bro, if they walk in there and just take Chiaki away, no one's gonna stop him, bro. So I feel like that might be where we're headed, but I'm actually like, hay fever is so bad I'm dripping out the nose. Hold on, let me just... 1 second.
2,000 years later.
Ow! Oh my god, bro. Oh, why don't you guys just open the window and get AC, huh? Shut the fuck up, bro. I've been bleeding out my nose from crippling hay fever for the last 24 hours. I'm tired. I have shit to do. I'm lazy. I don't know why I'm making this your problem. That is the end of the chapter, though. Like, again, the first kind of couple pages aren't telling us anything new, but it's necessary setup. I do like the final conversation between Hasumi and Ichiki, where they kind of talk about how the Soga clan actually probably just want to get rid of Chiaki anyway, which is one of the reasons they agreed, is because obviously someone from a branch family inheriting this power is something they don't like, and any chance to get rid of her and move it on to someone of a more pure bloodline, which has just been born. So yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know where we go from here. I'm now so confident Chiaki ties in strongly with Yura, considering we literally see his house in a vision, and I think Kunoshige is about to do something crazy, because yeah. Now though, to finish up, I'm just gonna have a little unedited yap session about Hiyuki and Flamebone. I did not think Flamebone was gonna have this big of a role in the story. I thought it would have its own little lore. I thought it would be a cool thing. I thought it would be Enchanted Blade level, but I didn't think it was gonna be the make or break of everything. Oh my god, Flamebone and Hiyuki are so important, dude. What the hell? God, you know she is busted. But the fact that their plan right now is to get to the point where Hiyuki is born, run some tests, right? Get it to the point where she can at least summon Flamebone. And as a 1-year-old, I'm not joking when I say hydrogen baby. Their plan is to take a 1-year-old Hiyuki, toddler, by the way, actual toddler, probably can't even like walk or talk yet, have it summon Flamebone, and just let Flamebone handle it. They're gonna use a baby as a bomb, bro. I don't know what to say. It's literally that scene from The Boys. I don't know. I don't know how we got here. No one could have predicted this. What the hell, Hokuzono? Yeah, sure. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit. Like, sorry if this one's a bit messed up. I'm tired, and I have crippling hay fever, and I can't be bothered. Peace.